Yeah, part 3. I don't know if I'm just getting lazy or if it's just a not a necessary thing to actually make intros for the second and third part in the series. Uh, I don't know, man. I'm just here. I don't really know. Anyway, just part 3 coming up. Now, last time we worked on the screenshot system, we had a system that could take screenshots with a few effects. Nothing really too interesting yet, but this last part is really awesome because we'll be adding a resolution scaler, and we'll also be able to save this picture into the user's My Documents folder, which is super cool. And then also we'll have this awesome transparent effect where we remove the background from the player so that any player that wants to create custom artwork can really do it without much hassle. So without further ado, let's just go get into it, because I'm really hyped for this one. So you just want to go to your BP photo mode controller, and here at this input action take screenshot, you just want to make sure that you move this out of the way of the other stuff, because this is going to get a bit messy, but in a good way. So here we still have this execute console command. We're gonna use this because of a simple reason. If I tab into my browser, you can see in the Unreal Engine docs taking screenshots, and the high-res screenshot console command actually has a lot of parameters, and we're gonna use quite a few of these. We're gonna use, of course, the high-res shot, and then the multiplier, where to save the pictures, and we're also going to use this B mask using custom depth stencil buffer, which is what we want. That's actually the thing that does the transparency stuff. So let's already start setting that up. So this execute console command, you just want to take this and drag this out a bit. We need a bit of space for this. And this command pin you want to drag out, and then you want to join string array. And you want to take the source array, drag it out, and use make array. The reason why we're using a join string array and a make array instead of just a simple append is because we are gonna require quite a few spaces, and with the append, you can hit a snag where you might have forgotten a singular space, and that just breaks everything. And it's really hard to debug, and I find this just way easier to work with. So in the make array, in index 0, you just want to go high res shot, and then you want to add a pin, and this pin will be our resolution scaler. So before we can really go set up the resolution scaler, we should actually go to the HUD, and then we should go and create a new slider for the resolution scaler and also a checkbox for the transparency. So you just want to go to your content browser, go to your HUD, and then here at the HUD, we're gonna go click on our bloom text, Control W to duplicate it. You want to take your bloom slider, Control W to duplicate it. We'll just move them both down below. With this bloom text, we're actually gonna go and rename scalar. Actually, resolution scalar is better. And this bloom slider 1, we're just gonna rename to scalar slider. And the scalar slider, you want to go to its appearance, and the value should be 1, because we want to take the default window resolution as the scale. Just want to make sure that it doesn't take lower resolution or higher resolution images by default. The min value, we want to be 0.5. We don't really want the player to take the downscaling too far. And the max value should be 2, because you can technically go as far as your graphics card desires, but there's a chance you can crash the player's computer, so I wouldn't recommend going too far on that. So I just want to click on the bloom text at top again, Control W to duplicate it, move all the way down, and the text should be transparency. And what you want to do is you want to go and take a checkbox from the palette, and just drag that under the transparency. We can just rename this, just Control Z, I accidentally delete that. Rename it to actually it's transparency. Checkbox. And I'll just rename this text because apparently I did spell wrong. Okay, so now the transparency is spelled right. You'll notice we have a checkbox, but we can't really see it because it's so little, right? And we're gonna go and fix that, but it's pretty annoying to fix. You want to go to the style, and you want to go, and by default everything here should be closed down like this, so it should look something like this. And we're gonna have to open almost every one of these and scale up the value. So this unchecked image, you want to go, image size should be 50 by 50. And then you want to go to the unchecked hovered and do the same, 50. And 50. Then you want to go to the unchecked pressed image, 50. Click that, 50. Now the checked image, again, 50. 50. 50. 50. Checked pressed image should be 50. 50. And we don't really care about the undetermined because we know it will be clicked or not clicked. There won't be any weirdness going on there. So now that we have that, we can just compile and save, go to our graph, and now we can set up events for the slider and the checkbox. So we'll go to the scalar slider, and then we'll just add an on value changed event. And we're going to go to the transparency checkbox, and there's only a singular event for it. On check state has changed. You can just click that. So on check state change. Now we have these two hooked up, not hooked up, or just ready to go now. Now this call value change, you want to go to your event dispatches, add two variables. The first one should be a float, and this will actually be the scale. And the second one should be a boolean, and this will actually be the transparency. Then you just want to drag the on value change into the new param, and the is checked into the other new param, and then you want to compile save. It's gonna error out. I want to right click on this call value change, and the refresh nodes, just want to go take this on value change, plug it into the scalar, plug the transparency checkbox into the transparency. You also want to connect the execution pins. I can just compile and save. There shouldn't be any more errors. And we're done for now with this. Oh wait, there's a singular thing we want to do. To go to this transparency checkbox and just make sure to scroll down to behavior. Click down on the down arrow. Oh, we did this for everyone, so we still have to go and fix that. You want to make it UI clickable, right? So that it shows the mouse. So you want to go to the cursor, tick that, And it should be, yeah, default is fine. Can compile and save. Now we're done with the HUD, we're not really gonna do anything here again. So now I can go to our BP photo mode controller. And the first thing, we want to go and add in our resolution scaler as a parameter. So how we're gonna do that? We're gonna go up to this post process, custom event we made with the value changed. Just right click that and refresh it. So the scaler, we're gonna go and promote to a variable. Now to make our code a bit cleaner, we're gonna go and hold S on your keyboard and left click. That's the shortcut for a sequence node. And the reason we're doing this is just to make our code a bit cleaner. Just want to plug the post process into the beginning of the sequence, and the then 0 into the post process setting, then 1 into the scaler. Then this transparency, we want to go and we can actually promote that to a variable. And you just want to go and add another pin, plug that in, and you just want to compile and save. Now we have both these variables ready to go for what we want to do. So here at this make array, hire shot, we want to take our scalar value, get scalar, and plop that in, and it will convert the float into a string. And thanks to our join string array creating a space for us, that means we don't have to worry about a space here. Now we're gonna go add a new pin, and if we actually go to the documentation, you'll see there's this file path equals path. Now that's the thing we have to worry about now. So how are we gonna do this? We're gonna go to our second index in the make array, and you just want to type in file path. Actually, no, we don't want to do that. We actually want to drag off this and create a new, what is the name for it? Append, yeah, a new append node. Because we're actually gonna go and take the user's My Documents folder to save the screenshots in. So the first thing in the append node should be file name. And you just want to use the equal, and then you want to add quotation marks, a double quotation mark. And then here, we're gonna go, take this B, drag off, get user, get platform user directory, which depending on the player's OS will get a certain folder. On Windows, it will get the My Documents folder. So that's perfect. Now you want to go, add a pin. And then in the C, we're gonna create a new folder to save it in. So you just want to make C your game name. And then you want to go and also name a folder called screenshots. Awesome, so it's your game name, / actually it's not a forward, it's a backward slash. Screenshots /, and then you want to add a pin. And here's where the fun part comes in. We want to split up the screenshots by date and time. So the newest screenshot is in a certain arrangement. So D, we want to go type in screenshot. We want to add a pin. And this E, we're actually going to go and use the now command. And this return value, we're gonna drag off and break date and time. Now you'll see, when we do this, there's actually a lot of time stuff we can use. This gets it from the player's computer, so based on the player's computer's time, it's actually gonna appear differently. Change the name up a bit. So this year, month, day, hour, minute, second, we're gonna go and take the year. I'm actually gonna go and let's just right click here, create a new append node. Again, we're gonna append on an append. So you want to drag the pen on the E, then you want to drag the year in here, the month in here. Want to add a pen for the day, the hour, the minute, the second. I think this is maybe a bit overkill. Now that I think about it, I don't think you really have to add so many timestamps. But I just really like adding timestamps. It's kind of like an addiction at this point. And then when that's done, you want to add another pin, which will be .png because we're saving it as a PNG. So now your file will be saved as screenshot with all these timestamps, sorry, and then it will save as PNG. And that's perfect. Now we have the file sorted out. We're gonna go and add another pin. Now we're just gonna go 0 space 0 space 0 space 0. The reason for this is if you go look in the documentation, there's this capture X, Y, W, and H. We don't want this. We don't care about this. This is not important for us. You can actually utilize it to take a screenshot of a certain part of the screen, but I'm not going to utilize it today's tutorial. But I'm going to be using this mask using custom def. So that's why I'm just putting 0 here, so I can skip these 4, so I can use this mask using custom def. So then we're going to add another pin, and this custom def we can get by taking our transparency, getting that, and converting not a boolean to string, right? So you want to check this transparency and type an int, then you want to use a toInt. And you want to plop that int into the string. The reason for this is because it doesn't work on true or false. It actually works on numbers, I believe. So that's why we're gonna just convert it to a number, which is then converted to a string. And then we're gonna add one more pin, and this pin should just be 0. And the reason for that is sometimes if you use the mask using custom def, it actually goes and turns on this dump buffer visualization target, which makes a ton of images on different stuff in the scene, like the normal maps and all that. It's really cool and everything, but I don't think your player wants that really. So we can just skip on that. If you want, you can actually go and use capture HDR to make the picture take an HDR or be datetime as file name. You could have done that, but I like my way more. But this capture HDR is really cool if you want to take HDR images. That's perfect. This is really all we need, and this should be enough to just go and compile, save. Let's take this save, and that should mean I can go to our new map, hit play. Just give it time. We're gonna test the resolution scaler out for now, because there's actually one thing we have to change before we can have that green screen effect. So now we're loaded in. So if I go P, I'm in camera mode, press F, and now here's the extra stuff. Let's go to resolution scaler, max that out, press X. Yeah, and here you'll see it's saved in this PC document your game name screenshot, and here is screenshot 2021. Yeah, it has all the timestamps. It's really cool, and it actually isn't that many numbers personally. You can see here the dimensions are higher than the resolution I'm running at. To test this, we're actually gonna go take this resolution scaler, just dump it down all the way, press X. That already was quicker. And you see now if I go properties, detail, yeah, the resolution is degraded heavily. So we can just go and close that. And the transparency has a problem. We can't just just enable it and it works. We have to tell it what it needs to keep in the image. How are we gonna do that? That's actually really simple. You just want to go to your edit, go to your project settings, and then you want to search for custom stencil. So this custom dev stencil pass, you want to make sure it's enabled or enabled with stencil. That's very important for this to work. You just close down the project settings and go to new map. What you want to do is you want to go open your character, or you want to open anything you want to be included into the transparency cutout. But I want the player to be, so you just go out here, and here at the mesh, we're gonna go, and you want to search in the details for custom, and you'll see render custom def. Want to turn that on. Now you can compile and save, and then this should already work. So if I go now and I press play and let it go, do its thing. I'm just saying, this is really hype. Actually, really enjoyed making these 3 parts. Now we're here. If I go press P, and then if I press F to open the HUD, can go. Let's shove up the resolution scaler. This transparency will turn on, and press X. Now if I go to the folder, turns out I forgot something. Like usual, it's not something new. Here at this append, I actually went and added quotation marks at the beginning of the file, but I did not at the end of this PNG. This is where I left you off at .png. And what you should do is you should close this off with quotation marks. And while we're here, I'll also go fix another mistake I made. Here at the scaler, you should also go to this default value. So you click on the scaler variable. Make sure the default value is 1. So that means that it will actually take screenshots. Doesn't matter if you adjusted the scaler or anything like that. So now you can just compile and save. Now if you go to our new map and hit play this time, it should work pretty well. We'll see. Just open up and boom. Now you can just hit P, and now in the flyby mode, press F. Okay, just the blue, the vignette, resolution scaler, and the transparency. Now I can just go move up to the player and press X to take a picture. And because I turned on the transparency, we'll actually go and add a transparency to the player, which is super cool. And the thing is, this could be used to create some really cool promotional material for your game, as well as give the community so much power to creating custom artworks for your game. And that's what I really like about games, is that they really just open up for the community to really go and enjoy the game, create custom artwork, redo certain parts of a game. It's just such a cool. The gaming community is such a cool community, right? And what's great about the system is here I just went and created a simple post-process settings. But like I said, you just click this post-process settings, adjust anything. You can adjust the color, the gain, the offset. There's so many stuff you can adjust. And all you have to do really is go to this HUD and just add a new slider. Just save the variable and you're good to go. And that's really cool, right? So we have the basic system up and running with a cool transparent cutout effect and resolution scaler. And yeah, that's it for this tutorial series overall. Thank you for watching the entire tutorial series. I was really shocked with the amount of attention that the previous tutorial series brought. And I'm so happy for the Reddit community who actually came here to watch my previous videos. I really appreciate the support I got on that. And yeah, to not bore you down with the details, I think it's just time to say goodnight. Hit like if you liked the video, hit dislike if you didn't, and please subscribe. And also, good night, everybody.